I'm seeing something no one else can see except for me. It's smiling at me. Oh my God!
Smile, the new psychological creature feature-esque or maybe a demon movie? I'm not actually sure. But it came out last year and I missed it in theaters, but it was getting a lot of positive press, so I booted up Paramount Plus this week and checked it out, and man, I'm honestly really disappointed in it. I don't know why it got such a positive review here. I'll explain. Smile follows an emergency therapist named Rose, who, after witnessing a new patient, unalive herself with a big creepy smile in front of her, starts to be haunted by an entity that nobody else can see, but wears a sinister smile and always appears as some random person or maybe someone she knows. Rose must race to try to understand this being while it tries to force her to unalive herself as well. So yeah, it's a movie about a demon or creature that smiles, but not all the time, that tortures people until forcing them to kill themselves in front of others to continue a chain. There's some clever ideas here or there, and the message is smart, if not a little obvious, being a metaphor and commentary for how personal trauma spreads and affects other people, even those just passing by. It's a shame that this wasn't explored a bit more and could have had a very, very smart ending, but instead opts for a paint-by-numbers predictable ending, which really bugs me. I came out of this immediately going, oh, this is a 7 easy, but then as I sat there and thought more about it, the more annoyed I got. All of my issues, though, are with the story. Everything else is pretty fun, from some fantastic practical effects and gore to the director's obvious fascination with traveling zooms through windows and such. Rose's actress, Sosie Bacon, yeah, that's right, Kevin Bacon's daughter, actually does a great job, and I hope to see her in more roles like this. Also a Scream Queen in the making. Before I go into where Smile falls short, I want to go into its history a bit. Smile is actually a theatrical sequel, and the first feature-length film the director, Parker Finn, is credited for. He's done just a couple of horror shorts for YouTube, The Hide Behind and Smile's prequel, Laura Hasn't Slept. They're both pretty good. He's very competent in his directing, clearly, with some unique shots and genuinely creepy scenes before it devolves into jump scare the movie. So many jump scares, and most of them painfully obvious. Ugh. They even have one scene where Rose is listening closely to a recording and constantly rewinds and turns it up until the monster appears next to her and shouts in her ear. So painfully overused. But then it also has slower, creepier moments, like what appears to be a face in the darkness, or the creature taking over the phone and speaking to Rose. The creature design, when you do finally get to see it in its glory, looks great too. That's an awesome design with a good build up to its final reveal. That was done wonderfully. Some CGI is used though in some scenes as well, sparingly throughout the film. It's not great, but it's not terrible either. And there's one scene that had me laughing because a character just starts screaming, "You're gonna die!" at Rose, and I just couldn't stop laughing because he sounded exactly like John Mulaney. And I don't think that was intentional, but wow, was that funny. Unfortunately, that's about all of the good stuff. This really needed another rewrite or two. The story is painfully obvious. It doesn't really try anything new. It gives rules to the entity when it should stay abstract, and then doesn't do anything with the rules, making them useless. The ending really pissed me off more that I think about it, where instead of a philosophical or more commentary on personal trauma and how we cope and deal with it, throws it all out of the window for a her monster gonna monster ending. It had a great ending before it ruined it with the last 5 minutes. Don't try to be cerebral and then throw the message away. It cheapens the experience. There's a lot of similarities between films like It Follows or We Go On here, whereas It Follows is the closest in story with a metaphor based on STDs. It treats its monster with respect. Its rules are obvious but abstract. Its demeanor clear but still questionable. And the commentary about it is perfect for how the monster works. We Go On has a fantastic ending with a very clear philosophy. Smile, however, gets muddled in making the monster more physical than a force of nature when trauma is a force of nature. Everyone will deal with a personal form of trauma in one way or another, be it their own fault or a result of their environment. It's unavoidable and leaves permanent scars. It spreads and it's ugly. And this film pretends that it's interested in exploring that concept, a very interesting concept with plenty of room to be unique and explore, but in reality, it's not. The film is way more focused on a spook fest with jump scares and a decent looking creature design. Nothing else. And that's super disappointing given everything else working so well. I feel like it was just, hey, what's a creepy idea? Oh, we're gonna have this creature that smiles at you until you do something terrible to yourself or someone else, and trying to build off the story off of that and getting a great idea and then doing nothing with it. Just, ugh. If I were to make this movie better, I would eliminate the last 5 minutes and leave this film with the final reveal. Anyone who's seen the film will understand where I'm going with this, where it gives a good moral and situates the monster as more of a personal force. I'd also get rid of the jump scares. A good chunk are fine, but subtlety speaks way more volumes. I hope Finn learns from this and doesn't lean into its success. He had a good idea here, but he fumbled in the execution, providing a film that wants to say a lot, but just gives it up for standard flair, which sucks. It's just frustrating because this has the makings for a good movie, for a decent story, a decent monster, for everything else to go, and it just fumbles. Honestly, it probably should be a 7 just critically, but with everything going on, I have to knock it down another point because I am just so frustrated with that. I'm excited for more of what Parker Finn can come up with because clearly he's got a great mind, he knows how to direct, he just needs a better project. This was a pretty decent first start, I think, so we'll see what he can do moving forward from here. I just hope he takes the right lesson from here and doesn't focus on the success. Like I said before, I guess we'll see. I don't see any announcements for his next project, but who knows, with this success, he's definitely gonna have something. Please God, I hope it's not a Smile 2, because I've seen enough. I don't need any more. Ultimately, for the disappointment that I went through with this movie, I give Smile my personal rating of 6 out of 10. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around for another one. I hate it when movies disappoint me like this. I go in, I get an idea for what's going on, and then it just either misses the mark or it completely goes in another strange direction that I don't know why or can't fully understand. And that's exactly what happened here, and I am so annoyed. I feel like he was trying to do more of the YouTube shorts that he does, because a lot of those focus on, you know, a little bit of a jump scare here or there. Well, a lot of them. But for the full-length movie, you can't just rely on jump scares. It gets cheap. And yeah, these are very cheap and tropey jump scares. This whole film had a whole bunch of random scenes as well that I don't feel were needed, that added a little bit of lore but then did nothing with it. Like there's one scene where she talks to someone who survived everything going on and learns, you know, a little thing about it, but then does nothing with it aside from another short sequence that goes nowhere and amounts to nothing. So I don't know. That kind of stuff is incredibly frustrating to deal with and just watch. It feels kind of like an insult and like they're trying to pad out for time. And this is a fairly decently sized movie, so they didn't really need to go that far out with filler. And I feel like they could have used that time to explore a bit more with the monster. Again, It Follows is a great example of how to use a monster effectively, where it's abstract, it has rules, it really doesn't need rules, but it has rules that are easy to understand, and the monster itself doesn't need to be fully understood. It's a force of nature, it does its thing, move on. This one, they try to input like, ooh, is the monster sentient? Does it know what it's doing? Can it talk to you? What's going on? And at that point, as soon as you figure out what the mental state of this monster is, it's immediately not as scary. And it's like, okay, yeah, I can kind of see what's going on. Ooh. There's a weird subplot about Rose not being able to sleep, but you never actually see that. So it just kind of becomes a detail to maybe explain away her poor decision making and throw that under, I'm stressed out and I'm tired because I can't sleep because of nightmares or whatever, which ties back into Laura hasn't slept, but you at least gotta show it. and they didn't really show it. They cut between a lot of them where she's trying to sleep and something happens and then it hard cuts to the next day. That's not enough. Give me a little bit more, but I don't know. Maybe I'm overreacting. A lot of people seem to really like this. So what about you guys? Did you watch it? Did you like it? Did you think it needed some more improvement? Do you think it was just okay? Let me know. Put it in the comments below. Please no spoilers. And that's it. Don't forget to like the video, helps me grow. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button and click that bell so you don't miss a video. Let me know what to watch next. And yeah, have a great day. And if you're not, have a better one. See ya.
I'm just a ghost in your stereo. The fading memory of a shipwreck in the undertow. You're just a lost soul. And I'm just a ghost in your stereo.